Hello, everyone. This is Jennifer Salazar with the Better Business Bureau Education Foundation out of Houston, Texas. Thank you all so much for joining us today. The month of May. I cannot believe we're already in May. We're almost in summer, and this year has gone by so quickly. In this month, we celebrate a lot of different wonderful events like Cinco de Mayo, and don't forget about those lovely ladies out there that we call mom. Happy Mother's Day to all of those that are mothers. And what about school? I think I'm more excited about school being out for the year than my kids because those late nights of homeworks and projects, we need a break, don't we? It's the end of the school year. And last but not least, let's think about the brave men and women who fought for our country and also our veterans. Happy Memorial Day to those who served. But did you know there's another event that happens in May that a lot of us don't know about? And that event is what we call Older Americans Month. This whole month we celebrate older Americans, but also it's important that we protect the greatest generation because unfortunately scams and fraud can happen to anyone at any time, but especially the greatest generation. Keeping that in mind, we wanted to make sure for May 2021, the scam of the month was something that would be helpful to help prevent scams. And what we decided to do is financial exploitation with a focus on identity theft. To fully understand what identity theft is, we should look at a definition. And Wikipedia has a very good definition of what identity theft is. Identity theft occurs when someone uses another person's personal identifying information, like their name, identifying number, or credit card number, without their permission to commit fraud or other crimes. So the big question is, why are older adults targeted for identity theft? There are so many different reasons. First, if you're retired, you more than likely have some money. You own your own home, you have pensions, investments, plus you have something more valuable than credit cards and money. You have a Medicare number. And Medicare numbers are worth at least $30,000. Yes, because scammers can scam the Medicare system. Also, if you're retired, you're more likely to be at home. And if you're at home, if you hear the doorbell ring or someone knock at your door, you're more than likely going to answer it. And you may pick up the phone because you may be lonely or you may be expecting a call. And if someone calls you, you're going to pick up your phone. In both situations, if someone comes to your door or if someone calls you and they're talking to you, you believe that they're telling you the truth. Well, guess what? Scammers are good at what they do. They want to build a friendship. They want to lure you in because they may think that you're lonely and you're vulnerable. So this is the perfect storm for them. Not only that, some of us are very confused by new technology. For example, back in the day, you could call your doctor's office and you could schedule an appointment. No problem, right? Or you could even go into your doctor's office and schedule an appointment. Now, some doctors, you have to go on a website. You have to click so many links and then you have to enter so much information just to be seen by a doctor. And it's overwhelming. New technology can be very confusing and very overwhelming. And please don't feel bad about that. Unfortunately, my 13-year-old, it's a blessing and a curse. She knows a lot more about technology than I do. So it's affecting all of us, my friends. And last but not least, a lot of people that are retired no longer do home repairs. And scammers know that. Scammers know that they will do anything they can to get you to open your door, and then they build a trust. And that leads to possible problems such as financial exploitation and identity theft. And this is a growing problem because our population is expanding. Older adults cannot regain their losses. It's not like that they can go back to work or go back to the job that they had 20 years ago. There are very few resources that are focused on prevention. And that's why at the Houston Better Business Bureau Education Foundation, we work very hard to try to prevent these scams before they happen. And did you know, according to AARP, if you know about a scam, you're 80% less likely to fall for it. Did you also know that when your cell phone rings, or you think it may be a friend or a family member or someone you know, but did you know that when that cell phone rings, it's 60% more likely to be a scammer, 60% more likely to be fraud? And technology has allowed robocalls to call like 5,000 people in 1 minute. Yes, robocalls are a way into other scams. For example, you may get a call and it tells you to press 1 or press 2. Well, guess what? When you press those numbers, that lets the scammer know that you're a live human being. And that's going to open your phone number up for more scam calls. So this is a growing problem across the board. And who are the predators? We've identified why the older Americans are being targeted, but who are the actual scammers doing this? Well, I hate to tell you this. Sometimes it's caregivers or family members. That's right. Sometimes family members and caregivers use older adults' retirement funds, such as their Social Security and investments, for their own personal gain. But let's not forget stranger danger. Yes, stranger danger is from the time that we are born to the time that we pass away. We always need to watch out for stranger danger. This can happen by scams by phone, email, or postal mail, the mail that comes to your door. Also, you need to watch out for contractors, workmen, people that want to do home repair, home repairmen coming to your door. I know that that last slide probably shocked a lot of people watching this video, because you think, how in the world could a family member or a caregiver commit financial exploitation? Well, the truth is a very hard pill to swallow, and unfortunately, I've seen it way too many times in my career. And so let's review why. Let's review, why do family members exploit loved ones? First off, drugs, like substance abuse. If you're addicted to drugs, you may steal your family's money. Or if you have a gambling or financial problem. Not only that, I've seen a lot of greed, unfortunately. I've seen a lot of people want to inherit, and they feel like it is rightfully their money. They feel like they've waited long enough to receive their parents' money, and they're just going to take it. Or they fear older adults will use their savings and take away from their inheritance. Let's get one thing straight. You worked hard for your money. You worked 40, 50, 60 years for your money. That is your money. However you want to spend your money is up to you. People shouldn't be lined up ready to take your money. Not only that, another reason for financial exploitation with loved ones is they have a poor relationship with the older person, and they have a sense of entitlement. And last but not least, they want to keep other family members from getting their inheritance, period. Now that we know about caregivers, let's go over, how do strangers target older adults? And there's so many different ways. For example, younger people will pretend like they're in love with the older adult. And this could be the romance scam, or it could even be a friendship. It could be a friendship that blooms out of nowhere. And they give the person attention, and they make them feel loved, and they draw them in. And a lot of times they like to isolate the older adult from other people. Another way is they seek employment as a caregiver or a personal assistant. People will even drive through neighborhoods and they'll pursue obituaries. They will read the obituaries and look for people that just passed away, and then target the widow or widowers. Sometimes they will overcharge for products and use bad business practices. And last but not least, they will use their position either in their employment or in their church or a position of trust, to gain the person's compliance, to gain their trust, to gain their acceptance. What are signs of financial or material exploitation? And yes, I said material exploitation because it's not always about money. Well, here we go. These are signs that we all need to watch out for. If you work in a bank, if you work at a grocery store, if you're a neighbor, watch out for these signs. If you're a family member, watch out for these signs. If a new person shows up at the bank with an older individual, this includes new names or signatures on ATM known as your debit cards. If there are any changes in a will or other documents like a trust, if there's disappearance of stocks, funds, or valuable possessions, unauthorized withdrawals of funds, and forged signatures on checks. And last but not least, unable to pay bills even if you have the money to pay. If you just stop paying your bills because you think somebody else is paying them and your lights are cut off or your gas is cut off and you think that they're being paid. And here are some examples of these scams that are committed. You have the lottery and the sweepstakes scam, the grandparent scam, romance scam, investment scams. You think the government is calling you, but it's not. Healthcare scams, internet and technology scams. And scammers often rely on the following tactics. The promise of getting a great deal, which is often too good to be true. They like to use pressure. They want you to not even second guess the situation. For example, they will say it's time sensitive. They need your help immediately. They will use intimidation tactics. For example, they will say you will be arrested if you don't hand over your social security number or a check. Isolation, and this happens a lot with identity theft. Someone will build you up, become your friend, become your romantic significant other, and then they don't want you to talk to any family members, any friends. They want to isolate you. And the reason why they want to isolate you is they don't want you to listen to other people. The use of technology such as social media to send messages about prizes or winning the sweepstakes from famous people. A lot of times scammers will pose as someone famous trying to get your money, trying to get your social, trying to get your Medicare number, because again, it's another tactic to commit identity theft. And scammers can be very persuasive. They can be polite. They can be charming. They can play off of your needs and anything you need or want. They can convince you. They will do anything they can. They know that a lot of us have been locked down because of COVID, and they want you to feel like you are loved and that they care about you because they're going to get your money. Let's review some examples of identity theft that I see in my line of work at the BBB Education Foundation. First off, we have a special grant called the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol, and we've seen a lot of stolen Medicare numbers. And what happens with that is false claims. A scammer will basically make a false claim, send it to Medicare, and Medicare might accidentally pay it. But it's up to the beneficiary, the person that is receiving the Medicare, to read something called a Medicare summary notice. And they need to see if something doesn't look right on that Medicare summary notice. For example, if they're getting supplies that they didn't order, if there's a walker that they received in the mail and they didn't order it and their doctor didn't prescribe it, and it's being charged to Medicare, that's possible error, fraud, or abuse. Something else that we see is adult children using their elderly parents' benefits, such as food stamps, prescription drugs. Either they take the drugs, physically take them, or they sell them, or they use their Medicare and Medicaid benefits. And last but not least is stolen Social Security numbers. Now, back in the day, Social Security numbers used to be used for everything. For example, I grew up in Beaumont, Texas, and when my mom paid the electric bill, the account number was her Social Security number. That's no longer the case. Now we have to watch our Social Security numbers because scammers can use it for all kinds of things. For example, they can use it to file for unemployment, to take out loans and credit, and to even file taxes. For example, we had a kiddo that was about to go to college, and he was taking out a student loan. and he got rejected because his credit was horrible. Turns out he never really took out credit. Somebody was using his social security number. The only way to prevent a lot of this from happening is to have a plan. Have a plan of protection. First off, make sure trusted relatives or family members know where to find the financial documentation, okay? Only trusted family members. Set up direct deposits and direct payments of bills. For example, when it comes time for the light bill to be paid, set it up with the bank where it's automatically paid and somebody can't just get into it and pay it on their behalf. Designate a power of attorney for finances. Again, a trusted family member, friend, or even an attorney. Build in safeguards like requiring periodic reports to a third party. Always have something where they can pull bills and have a third party look at them. Limit exposures to predators online by mail and by phone. For example, if you have a loved one on Facebook, make sure you talk to them. Don't talk at them. Talk to them about the dangers of Facebook. Do not let them friend people they don't know. Talk about that stranger danger. Also, if you have someone that you love that has dementia, turn off their phone in the day. If you are uncomfortable with them giving out their Medicare number or their Social Security number, because they might accidentally give out those numbers and they might think, oh, nothing will happen, but identity theft can happen. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Jennifer Salazar with the Better Business Bureau Education Foundation. I'm also your director for the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol. If you need to report Medicare fraud, error, or abuse, please contact us at 888-341-6187. The BBB Education Foundation in Houston, Texas has the federal grant provided by the Administration on Community Living for the Senior Medicare Patrol for the whole great state of Texas. If you need to reach me directly, my direct line is 713-341-6184, and my email is jsalazar@bbbhou.org. We also do presentations on Zoom and WebEx across the whole great state of Texas. If you ever need our assistance, please give us a call. Thank you and have a great day.